Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Hey, we're back with the Buzz, and of course, main studio guest, Senator Mike Limtiaco. Senator, you had a lot to say about, of course, our tax structure, and I know you have some things that Congress is looking at, possibly passing, and then if we don't jump on certain things pretty soon, we're going to be missing the boat. Yeah?
Sure. Yeah. There's a Fair Labor the Fair Market Act that I believe is made it out of the Senate. Would basically require all online vendors that ship into different states or different territories to collect the sales taxes associated with that sale, something that we're not collecting on Guam as it is. So not only does that help support local vendors, but it also requires or also makes available another revenue source, a tax revenue source for our government, if we can take advantage of it. Now, it refers to the collection of sales tax, but as you know, Guam doesn't have a sales tax, has GRT. So this is one of the things that the Tax Review Commission could look at, whether or not the GRT is applicable. If not, maybe we need to take a look at moving towards a sales tax. It would be transparent to our current customers, that for all of our businesses that do business with our local vendors, and it would provide potentially there's certain tax credits, that certain QCs that GRT some vendors, some businesses are subject to a GRT exemption. So we need to take a look at whether a sales tax would be applicable.
Well, some folks right now, they're thinking, well, wait, we thought you guys were basically duty free, because look at it, it's saying that you're having tax, but basically that's the visible GRT, because it's a built-in cost. If you're buying this, you're buying this cup by bulk, it's a per unit cost for that, and say it's per unit how much GRT you're going to pay per unit. So if you buy one cup and you go to the cashier, they'll show you again that unit GRT for that, but it's built into the price. So if you paid $5, it will show you that a certain percentage. If it's $4.49, but then the total cost is $5, so it shows $4.49 plus the balance to make it $5. Because the GRT again is a hidden tax. Again, we all know is a regressive tax for the states, and also for Guam that has implemented the form of tax.
Yeah, but additionally, the Tax Review Commission really needs to take a look at some of these, a lot of these unfunded mandates, some of which are like the Earned Income Tax Credit. The Earned Income Tax Credit right now accounts for almost 50% of our tax refunds. The Earned Income Tax Credit on the U.S. mainland, the IRS funds it via Social Security. Now, the IRS provides what they call cover-over funds for some other credits, like the additional tax credit. But they don't provide cover-over funds for Earned Income Tax Credit, nor will they, because it opens up the door to the other territories, some territories of which have millions of taxpayers, and the tax liability, let's say for the Earned Income Tax Credit liability that the IRS would be on the hook for let's say Puerto Rico. Guam represents 45 million. I've seen estimates that peg Puerto Rico, that if the IRS had to reimburse them for that or cover over those funds, they're talking about 1.2 billion. So setting precedent by having an MOA with Guam to have cover over funds for Earned Income Tax Credit could potentially make them have to do it for the U.S. Virgin Islands as well as Puerto Rico. So our probability of seeing a cover over funding for EITC is probably not in the near future. So we really need to take a look at potentially our own tax system.
Most especially if already President has been said that we have covered it ourselves.
Correct. Yeah. There was a class action lawsuit, and the courts ruled in favor of the claimants, and so we have to pay it, and our government has been paying it.
And again, it's one of those unfunded mandates that has been bestowed upon us, and with no funding. Again, like one of your colleagues has introduced a resolution in regarding some reimbursements from our Compact Impact, and I'll talk to Senator Chris tomorrow about that. But let's talk about something else that you talked about, the business incubator up at the airport.
And if I could just close on the tax side of it, we still don't know what the ramifications of Obamacare and the tax mandates that may come of, you know, any of the PACA regulations.
Yeah, yeah.
So whether or not we get cover over funding for that is a question that remains unanswered. So really, the Tax Review Commission needs to take a look at this proactively, because we could get hit with another unfunded tax credit that we have to figure out how to pay out of our general fund. And what that means is that's money that's going to go towards paying these credits that would otherwise be used for public safety, the Department of Education, our hospital. You know, the list goes on. We already can't afford to properly fund a lot of the services that we offer right now. A lot of them are unfunded and underfunded. And we really need to do it proactively so that we can prepare ourselves for the potential ramifications.
On the flip side of the coin, you're talking about, of course, economic stimulation here for Guam. I mean, you're looking at, of course, the airport as an economic hub base, or again, an incubator for local products, right?
Absolutely. It was the first bill that we introduced after our Bill 30, which was to reduce legislative salaries. So it was our first economic stimulus bill, and what the business incubator, airport business incubator bill does is specific to made in Guam products. It offers funding sources via the Tourist Attraction Fund to provide grants to potential made in Guam businesses. But more importantly, it gives those vendors access to our airport to sell their goods. You know, if you go into our airport today and you go into the sections of our current main concessionaire, you won't find very many made in Guam products. And that's a shame, because what's more important as a representation of our island and our culture and the products that we produce.
And now, let me ask you this, Senator, in regards to, say, you know, recently, well, of course, it's been challenged again in regards to, again, moving ahead in awarding a new contract to the airport in regards to a duty-free concession. Okay.
Yeah, main concessionaire.
Main concessionaire up there at the airport. How does this affect that, or would this be a standalone, and they'll be able to have kiosks and things like that for Guam-made products?
It's up to the business person. The business person can choose to deal with the main concessionaire. The business person could choose to go through the kiosk, and we envision these Made in Guam business incubators to start off as small kiosks. Now, the main concessionaire's exclusivity is specific to certain high-end, you know, products that they sell, but it's also exclusive to the footprint. So they have exclusivity in the area that they occupy. But the airport's large, and the walkways, the causeways to get to the gates. The exclusivity is not there for the main concessionaire. So these business incubators can be set up all along the walkways at the gates and provide an opportunity for tourists to spend the last $5, $10 that they have in their pocket picking up a made in Guam product, whether it's a magnet or, you know, whatever, to take something home to remember our island by.
And not only that, but you had a bill that was recently passed, a bed and breakfast.
Another economic stimulus bill that changes the zoning laws that allow for a bed and breakfast establishment in R1 and R2 as a permissible use, and in commercial zone as a conditional use. So this would allow any empty nesters, let's say the children are off to college and they have a couple of rooms, they have a home that would be enticing to a potential visitor. And what better way to show our own hospitality and our own culture than having the hospitality of a Chamorro family. You know, living
and experiencing the Chamorro way of living.
Absolutely, you know? Barbecuing at sunset and having some beers and just enjoying our lifestyle.
And Zori, and then tuning on to the buzz at 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday to Friday.
There you go.
Senator, we'll be right back to close it up. We'll be right back.